guys, and welcome to my channel. So in this video I will be ranking every game I've completed on stream. All 32 games, 32 being,
I mean, it's alright, like, overrated as
and number 1 being my virtual soulmate and absolute favorite experience ever. Each of the 32 games are being ranked on simply how much I liked the game, how much fun I had playing it, how much the story compelled me, and if I felt immersed into the world. In other words, this is 100% based on my personal opinions. When I look at my gaming catalog, I notice I tend to lean towards story-centered, interactive narrative type games. So when I go up the list talking about each game, I naturally focus on the story, but I'll try to give you a good general impression of the game when I express how I feel about it. What I'm saying is I probably won't go too deep about the mechanical functions and such. Most of the games that I streamed are pretty old, but I will alert you with this spoiler banner just in case you haven't played before and you don't wish to hear me go into specific details when I talk about my gameplay. I will also give you a sensitivity warning. Quite a few of the games I play can really take it there. If you are easily distressed by heavy, real-life topics such as mental illness, the different forms of harm, and other painful words I cannot say on YouTube, just be aware that when you see this alert that this particular game touches on those subjects. Also, I play a lot of mature, often inappropriate games. If you haven't noticed, I am a grown woman, and those games are usually great. So when you see this alert, just know this is not a game I let my niece play. I played a mix of indie and mainstream, but most of these games are pretty old. You guys in chat put me on to a lot of games I missed while I was on my gaming sabbatical. Now keep in mind, we played way more games than the 32 on the list. We just haven't completed them all yet. So don't get in your feelings if your favorite title isn't on the list. Also, I know there are games that we've streamed and beaten since the new year. Those games will not be on this list, they'll be on the next end of the year ranking list. I want you to keep in mind that I primarily play on the Nintendo Switch and PC. You guys know I'm not on the pew pew side of the gaming community. I don't like shooting games. So don't be surprised when you don't see any first-person shooters on this list, like Overwatch. Unfortunately, I'm not into prepubescent boy games either, so you can count out games similar to Fortnite and Roblox. I'm not into paying like $60 plus for games that look like old school Denny's arcade games, and I don't have a PS5 yet. And I'm not saying those games aren't good, it's just a personal preference. I only play what I like. This year I do aim to be more open-minded, so please leave in the comments below any games you think are worth me giving a shot. You're gonna get a pretty good idea what kind of games I like in this video, so if you have any recommendations, please leave them in the comments. Speaking of the comments, your opinions and remarks are welcomed as long as it's respectful, and I definitely want some gaming recommendations and to hear what you thought about the games that I ranked, and what you thought about my ranking in general. Please like the video, subscribe if you like this kind of content, and I hope you enjoy every game I played ranked. So, starting from the bottom and working our way up to the best at the top, number 32. It's nice though. Where's the phone? Does it ring? Oh, I guess I missed it. I mean, who's answering a empty hotel's phone?
Emergency. How can I help you? What's your emergency? Hello? Can you hear me? What's your emergency?
What? I discovered this game back in October when I was searching for horror-ish games for the Spooky Streams roster. It caught my attention because it appeared to be a mystery. The case of Rachel Foster is an adventure, horror, casual, indie game, and it would put me to sleep every stream until the very end when everything got twisted and weird. You play POV style as Nicole Wilson, a Karen who inherits her family's creepy but kind of cool hotel after her father mysteriously dies. You get stuck in the hotel because there's a blizzard, some crazy Montana snowstorm going on, so you have to stay overnight for several days in this massive, moldy, empty, supposedly, hotel with no one but your boyfriend, I call him your boyfriend, on the phone kind of guiding you to help you deal with things like turning on the electricity and finding food and figuring out what exactly your dad did to bring him shame and lose the family hotel. Going back to the hotel after so many years, we discover that something was really messed up with Dad, and so the gameplay becomes a mystery. The gameplay wasn't challenging at all. You mostly solve simple puzzles and explore the creepy, moldy hotel while on the phone with this dude who I like to call our boyfriend. Although it was super suspenseful walking through the moldy hotel, this game didn't really feel like a horror game, maybe because it didn't have any jump scares, and the voice acting was kind of hilarious at times, if not weird or awkward. Alright, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here, and we'll pick up on this after the phone call.
Hey, cutie pie.
What?
Daddy?
Nicole, it's Irving.
Oh,
What?
sorry.
And now I'm going to get into a little bit of spoiler territory because I really didn't appreciate Darrow Dad's predatory actions that were being romanticized. That was very weird. I could see that they were trying real hard to make me feel some sympathy for her dad and then trying to make me think that he's such a cool person because he has all these books and this hotel's really big and cool. But no, that's weird. I don't like that. And then the game kind of like fakes you out because you think we're going to take a turn for ghost and paranormal activity, but it's a fake out, unfortunately. I feel like if we did go that way, the game could have been more horror-esque, but it was more of, the uncomfortable kind of horror. All in all, the game was okay. It wasn't groundbreaking. It's not anything I'm gonna recommend to anyone. The story was long. I think I played for a couple hours, which is fine. But for being weird, the case of Rachel Foster sits comfortably at the bottom of our list. Not even gonna hold ya. This game was weird. In fact, I was so unprepared for how bizarre this gameplay was that the deeper story didn't even start to sink in until weeks after I completed the game. The game is titled Milk Inside a Bag, Inside a Bag of Milk, Inside a Bag of Milk. And the objective is to go to the store and buy some milk inside of a bag and not to let the whole concept of milk inside a bag, inside a bag, inside a bag trip you up and make it so that you can't complete the task. What makes the game sort of a challenge is that our main character's perception of reality is off, to say the least. And having a conversation with her is very tricky because if you say the wrong thing, you can set her off and that's in game. The visuals is what attracted me to the game. As simple as they were, it reminded me of anime and my old Game Boy Color. The gameplay was weird. It was a lot of repetitive dialogue. The story was very ambiguous, just as the visuals. And it was sort of a weird challenge to the game. You had to kind of quickly understand what you were doing without any type of context or help, really. I really can't tell you too much about this game. You're reading a bunch of internal monologue and then the game's over. It probably took me 30 minutes to complete this game. And now we are getting into the spoilers. I think the story is about a girl whose father died in front of her. So she kind of snapped out of the real world and what she sees is very distorted. She sees monsters instead of people and doing tasks like going to the store for a bag of milk is overwhelming. I think our role in the game was to be her subconscious and help her get through her day. If you said something that triggered her, the game would be over. Milk inside a bag, outside a bag, not for me. Because of course they made a sequel, just as weird and convoluted as the first one, but with a lot more dialogue and animation. The sequel is called Milk Outside a Bag of Milk, Outside a Bag of Milk. I like that we spent more time with our character. She was a lot more chatty, and her conversation made a lot more sense in this game. It was interesting poking around her room and hearing her response to the different things in her room. Kinda sad, definitely made me concerned for her, but it was nice to get such a deep introspective. I guess you could call this game a cozy game, if you don't mind you're cozy with a side of trauma. Apparently there are 5 different endings to Milk Outside a Bag of Milk Outside a Bag of Milk. One day I'll have to replay and see what that's about. I'm not really crazy about this game, nor its prequel, but I respect the subject matter and I can sympathize. The story and the way it was presented just wasn't enough to grasp me, but I like the art style and music. But yeah, this game was a weird trip. Nostalgia has me in a headlock when it comes to Pokemon, so whenever Game Freak decides to throw something out for us, I think my first reaction to each game is typically very optimistic, if not delulu. And that's definitely how I felt at the start of my Pokemon journey playing Pokemon Violet. I just love Pokemon. Any opportunity there is to be a Pokemon trainer, I'ma sign up. It's been that way since I was 9. But the point of this video is to share my honest opinion of the game, so this game was a glitchy disappointment. They spent so much time hyping up this game, and I know what you guys are gonna say, it's essentially a children's game, don't have such high standards, and you know, I wouldn't if they weren't charging me $59.99 and not including the DLC, which I didn't buy anyways. I'm not saying I didn't have fun during my playthrough. I like Pokemon and I just spent $60, so I'm gonna have fun. Streaming it and just playing it online definitely added way more enjoyment. I just expected so much more. I expected it to be better. I expected it to look better. And when I sit here to review it and just compare it to other games and compare it to itself, it's so disappointing. I do not appreciate this game. I had to do a lot of different things aside from the main story to keep this expensive game replayable for me. So, you know, like shiny hunting, egg hatching. I do like jumping legendary Pokemon in the cave. Those raids from time to time are pretty fun. Have we had one in a while? I haven't been on that game. I do like being able to play with Willow, my niece, and you guys. Surprise trades are cool. The drip could be way better. And Gen 9, the Pokemon were okay. There's just so many uncreative garbage, like the stork and the flamingo. Which name is a flamingo? Like, is that a joke in Japanese? I don't get it. Like, Team Star's hideout was super disappointing. They spent more time on their outfits than anything else about them. The gym battles were cool, but the stupid reindeer games we had to play before fighting the gym leader was so lame. I'd rather fight like 100 high-level gym trainers and run through a maze. It's a very lackluster open world. And you can keep your excuses because if The Legend of Zelda can do it on the Switch platform, Pokemon can do it too if they wanted to. I had super high expectations for the nature of the wild Pokemon. I hated how small they looked because I really liked the direction Pokemon Legends Arceus went in. I feel like Pokemon Scarlet Violet might as well bring back the tall grass at this point. I expected entirely too much from the game's Future Past concept. I thought the Future Past thing was actually going to mean something for each game, and each gameplay would be different based on you choosing essentially red or blue, you know, the past or the future. Because they hyped this game up so much, I actually thought that Scarlet and Violet settings would be 2 completely different worlds. They presented 2 different schools which have opposite themes, the past and the future. And that theme was present in the different legendary Pokemon you get for no reason at the beginning of the story to write around on. I thought each game's open world would reflect each concept, either the futuristic one or the past caveman one, but it didn't. We were all in the same empty, tiny Pokemon world. And we couldn't even go into the houses. Every town was basically the same. They had the same old stores with just like a menu for the screen. And I get it, this is supposed to be like a whole new take on the game, but I didn't like it. There was no challenge to this game whatsoever. I didn't really get that sense of accomplishment when I defeated the Elite Four, or whatever they're called on here. This game didn't truly inspire me to 100% it. And another weird thing was, usually each Pokemon game I play, throughout the first journey, I always fall in love with a Pokemon I've never paid attention to before I add them randomly to my party and we just create this magical bond, and I keep it in like my Pokemon parties in the future. Like, I didn't have that experience with this game. Like, for instance, Pokemon Red, it was Blastoise. I know the starters don't count because we all love our starters, but I really fell in love with Blastoise. Pokemon Blue was Mewtwo. Pokemon Crystal was like Corsola and like the red Gyarados I caught. Oh, and Suicune. And Pokemon Sword, it's whatever this guy's name is, but in my game, he's Khal Drogo. But yeah, didn't really get that from this game. And like I said, I did like my starter, but that's not what I'm talking about. I just hate when my loyalty is thrown in my face like this, because that's exactly what Pokemon Scarlet and Violet was to me. They totally took advantage of us, knowing damn well all us gaming fans of this franchise are most likely gonna want to experience every big project they put out. So I feel like they knew what they were doing by throwing this Atlanta McDonald's video game version of the final season of Game of Thrones for us to mass buy, knowing it sucks. And before you start, I know how capitalism works. I am an American. It still hurts. It hurts when The Sims does it, and it hurts when Pokemon does it. But yeah, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, everybody. This is like, I don't know, reminds me of Castle in the Sky. Oh my god, Armin! Oh my god! Oh my god! He's dead! Oh my god, we lost one. Oh no! He was supposed to reunite with his dad, and they were gonna, fix their relationship, and now he's gone. I'm scared now that he's gonna pop up behind me. They're all so nonchalant about it. Look, Penny's happy. She pushed. Ah! Come on with this music.
Hey, kid. You out here?
Oh, God. Oh! Little Hope was good. I know that Dark Pictures has a bunch of horror games, and I think I played maybe one before, but I really enjoyed Little Hope. I really love survival choice-based games with multiple endings. I love that the way I play and who I save or who I don't save has a huge impact on the story and how it's going to end for me. These are the games I love to stream, and Little Hope is exactly why. Although the story ended so weird and creepy, I had fun getting to the conclusion. It was scary, but it wasn't that scary. What up, Chariot Man Gaming? Welcome to the stream. How are you? We should go one at a time. What the heck? Yeah, I was. Oh no! The fog's taking them. It's splitting us up.
My God! What do we do?
We can't stay here.
Crow, you better stay your butt right over there. Don't you feel it? It was pretty scary. And it was a lot of fun, a lot of suspense. There were a lot of jump scares, and the visuals did look good. Solving the main story's puzzle and trying to keep my characters alive was a lot of fun. Does make me interested in playing the other games in the Dark Pictures series. I just haven't yet. But we will.
What's up with the fog outside? It's pretty weird.
Yeah, sure is a thick one tonight.
So thick it's stopping us from leaving.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
The Gardens Between is a cute, short little puzzle adventure that I bought on eShop for like $2. It's a forward-backward moving puzzle that spells out a bigger story as you complete each level. And yeah, I thought it was cute and fun enough. I mean, the puzzles weren't all that tricky, but they could be clever. The music made this a super relaxing gaming experience. Graphics are pretty cool. A big part of solving the puzzle is watching everything move around our characters as you push them forward and backwards in time. I forget the characters' names, but I nicknamed them Chucky and Kimmy. The little story was sweet, something I could totally relate to growing up. I bet this game would be a lot of fun co-op. But yeah, it's alright. Aww, how cute. As a kid, I was mediocre, not ugly nor beautiful, just utterly forgettable. Little gray mouse. Daddy's girl. I sensed the dad issues. I felt trapped for quite some time. Until I found the fine art of burlesque. On stage, I'm neither shy nor sick. I'm only a little bit freaky. No more gray mouse. Okay, go Holly. I'm Holly freaking Whispers. That is until I take my pills. One Night Burlesque was a fun, pretty quick playthrough that I enjoyed. The story is an interesting mix of cute and twisted. We play as Holly, super cute burlesque performer with pink hair. She's either really psychic or super tripping because we spend the entirety of the game helping her take her medicine so the voices in her head don't stop her from performing. It's also a murder mystery. Holly has a premonition on stage which she believes is foreshadowing her friend's death. And I really like the character design for Liz, she's so cute. So we talk, make drinks, and jump into twisted minds of the club's patrons. It's a visual novel, no voice acting. What attracted me to the game was the art style and the music. I love the jazzy background music. I really like the style of the characters and the setting it's drawn in. It reminds me of a romanticized old school Las Vegas or Chicago or New York. They only use color when they're putting emphasis on something or one of the main or supporting characters, which is pretty cool. And I totally recommend this game, especially for the cozy gamers. Okay, spoilers coming at you right now. The only way to lose the game is to choose the wrong suspect, which I totally did and got the cutest guy at the freaking club killed. Ugh! I really enjoyed the game for what it was. It's only low on the list because it wasn't very long and there wasn't any voice acting. If it would have went deeper and been a longer story, it would have for sure ranked higher on the list. I'm sure a few of you think it is a crime to have Life is Strange True Colors so far down on the list, but compared to my other games, I think this is where it belongs. You guys kind of overhyped Life is Strange True Colors. Not that it wasn't a good game, it was a great game. It did make me emotional and I did feel for Alex and the other Haven Springs people, but I don't know, it wasn't as deep as I would expect for a Life is Strange game, and I wasn't as moved, and I didn't like the characters as much. I only just played this game last year, and you guys really hyped up the game, so I guess I was expecting a lot more. The characters weren't bad, some were kind of enduring. I did become invested in each of them and their hometown drama, but it was cool to see Stephanie again. I have no clue how she survived my playthrough of Arcadia Bay, but I'm glad she's doing alright. I did like the characters. I just wasn't as moved by the story as deeply as I expected to be. It was alright. Spoiler alert for this old ass game. I kind of wanted more from Gabe and Alex's childhood and Alex's time in foster care. Maybe even a glimpse on how hard Gabe worked to change his life and find his sister. They kept going back to like how chaotic and just horrible their childhood was. One because of Alex's powers, and then their dad totally dipped on them, I think after their mom died. It would have made Gabe's death and everything that happened after more impactful if I could have saw more of that before he died. Maybe it would have definitely made things hit harder. And if you're wondering how my choices looked, well, I feel like in every choice-based game with multiple love interests, I try to balance keeping everyone in love with me as best as I can, but I ended up choosing the handsome mountain man, Paul Bunyan. He was cute. And again, I don't know how Stephanie survived Arcadia Bay, but I'm glad she's here, even though I kind of played her to the left and she left in the middle of the night without telling anybody. I feel the worst, like my heart goes out the most to my brother's freaking girlfriend. I feel so bad for her. And it's her freaking kid's fault! But yeah, Life is Strange, True Colors. Good game, totally recommend. This game caught my interest with the plot alone. Man wakes up as a bug. And that's the least of your worries because your good friend is being set up and possibly imprisoned, I think executed. So you backseat your problems and scurry throughout the world of inside the dresser and within the walls and try to figure out how to help our friend. The gameplay was super simple and ironically pretty buggy at times. Even though it looks like it was made off Windows XP, I like the style. And truly overall, I had a lot of fun with this game and enjoyed completing it. There were some funny jokes from the bug community. It was a pretty lengthy game. I was invested in the story, although I don't think I understood why exactly Joseph, our friend, had to go to jail, or why we woke up as a bug in the first place. Either I totally missed the explanation, or I would have to read the book the game is named after for a clear understanding. So I just looked it up. This game is not that old. It was initially released in 2020, so it's only 4 years old. But spoiler alert anyways, apparently all the choices I made got me the ending where you remain a handsome bug forever. I mean, I wasn't about to sell out my friends, so I decided I'll remain a bug. There's no way I wanted my friend to be sentenced to death. I mean, being a bug sucks, and if this were real life, I'd probably make a different choice. But since it's a game and all the ladybugs were calling him handsome, I figured it'd be okay if he stayed in bug world. Plus his dad was down there, so weird. But yeah, I really liked Metamorphosis. Totally recommend. This game is mysterious, dark, depressing, and I love it. What Remains of Edith Finch is a walking simulator adventure game where we experience multiple stories about Edith's family, the members of the Finch family, while exploring their enormous, eccentric house. The Finches are a very unfortunate family, which is sad because you can tell that they all really love each other. I think they could be cursed. I mistook this game as a horror game, but it's not the jump scare type of horror. It's more like the type that shocks and stuns you and leaves you with a heavy, slightly disturbing impression after it's over. The visuals were good, the gameplay was easy, the narration was good, and the stories aren't just dark, they're more than that. Edith's brothers and uncles especially. I made my sister play it and she hated it because it was so sad, but I like games that can move me. I absolutely recommend this game. Raptor Boyfriend, a high school romance, caught my attention with its name and art style. I thought it was so weird and cute. I never played a dating sim before either, so this was my first time, and it was such a lovely experience. Good story, great characters with depth, nice music, and the art really is the best part. I really enjoyed our late night streams of this game. Raptor Boyfriend is a game all about love and the different ways to love a person. And the best part is you have 3 different love interests. I love games with multiple love interests because I like to try to balance them all. So we play as Stella, a teenager who moves back to her grandma's house with her dad. They live in her fictional hometown in Canada somewhere during the 90s. Stella is hilarious. And now that I think of it, she kind of reminds me of Scott Pilgrim because she's a clumsy nerd who can pull anyone she wants. She goes to high school with non-human beings, including our 3 love interests, a shy boy Bigfoot named Taylor who's in a band, a super cute fae named Day. Her personality reminds me of Jodie from Daria, super smart and pragmatic, and I love her entire design. She's so cute. Look at her hair. I'm gonna cosplay as her one day. And then the raptor named Robert, who is the outgoing golden retriever type. There's no voiceover, it's a visual novel for sure, and I'll admit, sometimes visual novels can lose me with their writing. I did not have that issue at all with Raptor Boyfriend. The writing was clever, flowed nicely, stayed interesting, and was just overall good. This is another one for the cozy gamers too, by the way. I streamed this game super late at night, and honestly, this game, its music, a side of tea, and fuzzy socks makes for the perfect night. Because of this game, I'm totally down to give more dating sims a chance. I'm a big fan of this game, can you tell? Like 10 out of 10, 5 stars on Yelp. I 100% recommend Raptor Boyfriend, a high school romance.
Hey, Rachel. I'm glad you're here, Chloe. Of course. Hey, check it out.
I loved Arcadia Bay so much, playing the prequel was a must. Life is Strange Before the Storm answered one of my biggest questions from the original game, which was the dynamic of Rachel Amber and Chloe's friendship. I wanted to know why Chloe loved Rachel so much, and this heartbreaking gameplay allowed me to see their entire relationship from the beginning. Rachel Amber is so different than Max. She reminded me more of how Chloe was in the first game. I think their friendship was really cute. They got close quick, and Rachel was very open with her feelings with Chloe. It makes sense why Chloe was as desperate as she was in the first game, which makes me sad. I like playing as Chloe. I don't hate her like a lot of you guys do. I feel for her and Rachel. My heart truly breaks for Rachel Amber. Her story is a tragedy. Both she and Chloe have that in common. You can see why they're such kindred spirits. And I liked getting all up in Rachel's family's messy business. I love how theatrical the Life is Strange gameplay is. You really feel like you're in an interactive movie. There is gameplay, but it takes a back seat to the story. And honestly, I think that is my gaming genre preference. I love a good story. And as for visuals, I like how the camera gets really close during intimate scenes and then will pan out and show the surroundings. Even though they look like 4K Sims 1 Sims, it still looks good. It was a pretty lengthy game despite it only being 3 episodes. It's a good prequel game. There were some weird moments like Chloe's dreams with her dad, but other than that, I liked it a lot. This game only increases the amount of sorrow I felt after completing the first Life is Strange. It makes it so much sadder. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Okay. So I didn't like my ending. I totally fumbled that weird fever dream conversation Chloe had with Rachel Amber's drug-addicted mom. That part, along with the dreams Chloe kept having about her dad, was so weird. Like, I didn't get it. And her dad was screaming at her at some parts. Like, I was like, what's happening? So because I fumbled that conversation with her mom, she didn't come to the lighthouse and meet us at the end of the gameplay. It was just us, and I was so mad. I wanted the best ending. My ending wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best. I wanted the best for Rachel Amber since I knew her fate in Arcadia Bay. And I like those theories about Rachel Amber being the storm we see in Arcadia Bay. Like, I really like that idea. I hope that's true. It makes me even happier with the way my gameplay ended in the first game. But yeah, in conclusion, Life is Strange Before the Storm, the prequel to Life is Strange, it's good.
Stop, all right? You don't want me riled up, kid. Not another word, or God help me, I'll put you to sleep myself. We still got a haul ahead of us, and I'm not about to listen to you. What the hell? Stop! Stop! Oh, shit! Oh, no, no!
Perfect. That was a lot of noise. And you're dead. And there's a gun. And I'm ziplock tied. And great. Here we go. I may be still alive.
Hey! Fuck. Yeah. All right.
That's good. Just keep looking forward.
Kill him? It's Clem!
Please. I need help.
Not what it looks like to me.
Clem!
Looks like you can handle yourself just fine.
What up, Clem?
That's not what I meant.
She's a big girl. Okay. Telltale's The Walking Dead series is a masterpiece, and I would never do it injustice by summing it up as one game. So I will rank each game individually, and the first to make the list, making it the lowest ranked out of the 4, is the third story, The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. This was the only game since Lee passed the torch where the majority of the gameplay isn't from Clementine's perspective, but it made me even more stoked to see her when she did appear. Clementine is not messing around in this story. She has changed significantly from the last season. She is crazy confident, more vicious, more cutthroat, which makes me so happy because she's a survivor. And she was raising baby AJ, who's a toddler now. It doesn't ever take me long to care about the characters in survival games, and I like Javi and his family. I thought he was a good protagonist. The sideline drama with his brother over their shared girlfriend Kate was fun, until it wasn't.
You know what, David? Time for you to open your eyes. Kate's gonna leave your ass.
Whoa!
Javi!
You said that?
Jesus fucking Christ, no! No, I definitely didn't say that. At
Whoa.
all.
3 days. Then I want you off my couch and out the door. Fine.
Whoa. I did not
Javi,
know
that
he
is
was
my
going to
husband.
say that.
We are married.
I'm sorry.
In case you forgot.
I thought he was going to...
That's for life.
I did not know he was going to... well, okay. Okay, mixed signals.
One pathetic sub-story later.
I want to give it a chance.
Oh.
I'd really like to know. Before things get crazy.
Well, okay, she's not
You might
gonna
not get
make
another
it. You know, I don't
No
see
pressure or
it
anything,
happening for
alright?
Kate, so I'm gonna just tell her what she want to hear.
Maybe I should have stayed
'Cause
quiet.
I'm Aries.
Let's go for it.
Oh my god, really?
I don't see her making it, so I don't think it matters.
So are
you
we
know?
gonna...
Oh my god. I play both sides, but ultimately, I sided with my bro. How people find times to have affairs and babies during an apocalypse is beyond me. Even Clem had herself a little boo action at some point. There were other characters I enjoyed as well, like Thor and Great Value Jesus. This was a good world building season. Telltale's The Walking Dead series is one of the best gameplay experiences I've ever had. I really enjoyed the New Frontier story and what it added to the overall journey. If you haven't ever played this series, you need to start immediately after you finish this video. Like it and subscribe to my channel. Yeah, thanks. So Anna's Quest is one of my kid-appropriate games that I had a blast streaming with my niece. It is a puzzle graphic adventure with a narrator. I love a narrator. Anna's Quest is about a young girl with a special ability who is suddenly kidnapped by a witch after leaving the farm her grandpa made her promise not to leave. Because this game is entirely a puzzle, we end up snooping into the witch's business, communicating with her dead prisoners and other cursed items. We end up going down a deep rabbit hole of the witch and her family's history, which turns into a super long adventure, and I mean long. This game is so long. The puzzles can be so tricky. You really have to listen to each character dialogue. There is so much dialogue in this game, and it's all important to listen to all of it, every piece of it. It helps you progress the game. I'm super grateful I had other people playing this game with me. If I were playing alone, I would have definitely checked out at some point. This game is simple, but you will get stuck. And Anna spoke so slow. Oh my god. We felt super accomplished when we beat it. Although I appreciate the big payoffs from events or people met near the beginning of the story that had a significant meaning discovered at the end of the game, the way it ended felt like they skipped an entire arc on why it ended that way. It just felt so obviously rushed, as if they realized how long the game was getting and quickly tried to wrap up the story. I still have questions over a few characters, including Anna's grandpa. One day I'm gonna have to go back and replay this game, just in case there was something I missed. To me, the ending was so sad. And justice for my girl, man. Like, it's really not fair. I stand for women's rights and women's wrongs, okay? Anna's Quest is a good game, totally recommend it, especially if you got kids around. Just know you're gonna have to help them a lot. This game was recommended to me by chat, and I'll admit that it took me a while to appreciate it, but Road 96 is a really special game. You play as a bunch of nameless teens trying to escape this desolate, nearly ruined country that has no future for you. It's sad actually, because the country is torn apart by political figures and the rebels that oppose and stand up to them, which together ultimately causes regular people to suffer. It's like a political apocalypse, which again is why the youth is hitchhiking to the border. You meet a series of characters we discover are all connected as we journey to what we hope is a better life. The characters represent the regular people whose lives are affected by the turmoil of their country. I really enjoyed that part of the game. Each character brought something different to the game, and the longer you play, the more kids you get to the border, the more personal stuff you discover about the group. And it gets pretty intense. After I beat the game is when I realized how replayable Road 96 is. There are so many different choices that lead to different results, not only for us, but for the group of characters we become familiar with throughout the ride. I love story-driven adventure games, and I love choice-based games. It's not exactly challenging, but it was pretty long and really good. Road 96 was a real fun ride. So Pokémon Sword was the first Pokémon game I played after what felt like an unintentional but necessary hiatus from video games. Before Pokémon Sword, I think the last Pokémon game I played was Pokémon Crystal on my Game Boy Color. I've been a big Pokemon fan since I was a kid, so I was just excited and sentimental. Even though I only knew 2 generations of Pokemon, Pokemon Sword was like a 3D experience of my Game Boy games on easy mode. Except for my fight with Leon, that was stressful. I don't like how easy the main story was. I guess this is the game where we started getting super friendly rivals. I prefer to hate my rivals. The plot was weird, but I didn't pay much attention to it. I just wanted to collect Pokemon in battle and explore. I didn't like Team Yell. I miss Team Rocket. The clothes were okay. I didn't feel like I ever got that right style for my avatar. The Galar region was cool. I was slightly familiar with the Gen 8 Pokemon because of Pokemon Go. The world wasn't very impressive, but it was cool. The online features were okay, I guess. I'm a solo Pokemon player. The community things take me a while to get into. The journey, not the story, but the personal Pokemon journey of forming new Pokemon squad, raising them up, gym battles, and the side missions, getting stronger, is what I focus on when I game. And if I see a shiny along the way, cool. I think nostalgia is what made me put Pokemon Sword so high on the list. But I really enjoyed my gameplay, even though the game was kind of cheap. And I really wish Pokemon would invest in some voice actors.
Welcome to my game.
I don't like this house.
I'll be your host and humble narrator.
I love when the narrator's a character.
The rules of this game are simple. Play until the end, and you'll be rewarded.
Okay, just plan on doing that anyway. One of my favorite gaming genres is traumatized children, and Little Misfortune is such a sad, tragic story wrapped in a cute little bow. For a game that looks so sweet and charming, this is low-key a horror game, and a psychological horror at that. Little Misfortune is a game about the traumatic life of an innocent, pure-hearted, truly unfortunate little girl.
This is Misfortune.
I like her beret.
She's a wonderful child from a not so wonderful family.
Aw, Matilda.
A little sparkle for you, and a little sparkle for you, and a little bit for me.
Oh,
Her
the sad part is, today is the day she will die.
I can hear you know.
Oh?
We tag along on this bizarre journey initiated by Mr. Voice, the game's narrator, who at the beginning invites us to play a game offering Little Misfortune eternal happiness as the prize. The journey was a lot of fun to complete. We solved some easy puzzles and make a lot of choices. I don't think the choices have much influence on which ending you get. For that, what's most important is throwing glitter on every sad thing you come across.
Look, a sleepy bird.
Come on, Misfortune. Let's go now.
The more we hang out with Little Misfortune, the more our heart breaks. She's only 8, but we discover her life is full of disturbing experiences. Why are the adults wearing these creepy masks?
Mommy brings me here all the time. It's really boring.
Oh, the liquor store.
Sometimes she sends me to buy cigarettes while she hacks strangers by the dumpster.
Hugs? Mom's prostitute. Oh my gosh. It gets worse and worse. I adored Little Misfortune. Her voice, her personality, her humor, her cute little repetitive sayings. Everything about this character is special. I love the collaboration of eeriness and cuteness. I was pretty mesmerized throughout my gameplay. I was so hooked on this game, I finished it in 2 streams. This is a great game, and in case you're wondering, I have not played Bramble yet. I know Little Misfortune and Bramble exist in the same universe or something like that. It's on my playlist, I swear. The Children of Silentown is a great game with a very interesting story, accompanied by a beautiful, uncanny art style. We play as Lucy, a little girl who lives in a village trapped by the surrounding forest. And this isn't just a regular forest full of deer and squirrel. Growls and roars from incomprehensible monsters can be heard from the forest all day and night. No one in the village is allowed to sing, shout, or do anything more than whisper, for fear of disappearing into the forest. Although no one has ever seen them, monsters live in the forest, and anyone who goes into the forest never comes back, ever. Not once has anyone returned. If you go into the forest, it's over. So naturally, people we know and love go into the forest behind people they know and love, and that makes us want to go into the forest. There are several different puzzles you must complete to progress this game. They range from super easy to crazy challenging, but they're not unbeatable. Music is a theme throughout the playthrough, and it's ever present throughout the game. I love the whimsical melodies that played in the background throughout my gameplay. It interpreted the scenes nicely and added emphasis to emotional moments. The only negative note I have about this game was the ending. I have so many questions after completing this game. There were 4 possible endings, and the ending I got answered none of them. There are also a few characters who we seem to forget about. This game was long and well worth the price I paid for it, and I got it on sale. I think it's normally $20, and although this is a dark adventure game, this is one of the few child-appropriate games I felt comfortable playing with my niece. The Children of Silentown is a really good game. This game is truly a diamond. Refreshing and creative, Jenny LeClue Detective Vu is an extraordinary game. From the unique art style to the phenomenal voice acting, and that surprise ending, oh my gosh. I cannot wait for the game sequel to come out. To say that I enjoyed my gameplay experience would be an understatement. I was invested from the very beginning. Jenny LeClue is a character within the in-game book series by author K. Finkelstein. He has been instructed by his editor to sprinkle some razzle-dazzle on his Jenny LeClue book series because they become stale, and they plan to stop publishing him. So instead of the author publishing himself on Amazon, we play as Jenny, Miss Junior Detective, within her story of her first murder mystery. They keep you quite busy throughout this gameplay. I played this game on the Switch, but it does have the whole point and click element going on. You're also collecting stickers and solving a variety of puzzles to help Jenny analyze evidence and solve the cases that come her way. This game was so much fun. The developers really did a good job with this. I especially appreciate the art style, which to me kind of resembles magazine clippings or stickers. Our protagonist, Jenny, is an intelligent and confident young detective who can also be quite condescending and judgmental at times. And her voice acting, along with the other cast of characters, just brings so much personality and charm to her. Jenny's mom is a super cool forensic scientist, and she's at the center of Jenny's first case. This case becomes so personal, and Jenny is such a brave little girl. As I played this game with my niece, I had to constantly remind her to never make the decisions Jenny makes in real life. She agreed that Jenny was crazy. This is such a great game. If you haven't played it yet, believe me when I say you're missing out. If you know me, you've been waiting for this game to appear on the list. This is the first game of one of my favorite series, Little Nightmares. And like most great game series, I played it out of order. I played Little Nightmares 2 before playing this game, but you guys assured me in chat that Little Nightmares 2 was actually the prequel to Little Nightmares, so I did myself a favor in a way and actually played it in game order. This game is incredible. The developers truly created something miraculous here. The in-game atmosphere is so perfectly dark and disturbing, just like the twisted nightmares of a traumatized child, and the emphasis is felt by how little our in-game character is. We have to run, sneak, and hide to survive, and our biggest consequence is getting eaten. Throughout my gameplay, I was so captivated I didn't mind the difficulty. There were moments where it could be quite challenging. This was such a crazy gaming experience, especially playing it for the first time. I'm so happy it came with a DLC. The lore is incredible. I love this game. The third game can't get here soon enough. Life is Strange is a very well-known episodic drama adventure game centered around an emotional story about humanity, friendship, and love. The first game is my favorite out of all the Life is Strange games, largely due to how I recognize and appreciate the sincere intent of this game and its story. In Life is Strange, we play as Max Caulfield, a student with a special interest in photography. Photos are a common theme in this story. In a crisis moment, Max awakens supernatural powers that allow her to rewind and manipulate time. She immediately realizes with these powers, she can save Chloe's life and so much more. Max and Chloe were childhood friends who grew apart as young adults. After the events of the first episode, Max and Chloe rekindle their friendship. Although their friendship is imperfect and proves to be a magnet for chaos, I couldn't help but find it so endearing watching the girls grow closer. After realizing the suffering Chloe has endured during her absence, Max is determined more than ever to help, support, and get her friend on the right track to ultimately save her life. Which isn't easy, because like I said in my Before the Storm review, Chloe is a tragic character. But you know I like flawed tragic characters, so much drama. I feel like the choices and consequences mattered the most in this game than any other choice-based game I played, but having multiple outcomes is pretty fun. There is an amazing soundtrack to this game. The music is so relaxing. I find so much nostalgia in West Coast setting. The voice acting was performed well. And yeah, I guess the dialogue was a little bit corny at times, but I grew up watching 90s sitcoms, so I think I can handle it. If I had to choose one thing that stood out to me most in this game, it would be Max Caulfield. Max is one of my favorite game protagonists. Life is Strange always reveals to me how sentimental I am, and it's okay. This is a pretty amazing game. Animal Crossing New Horizons is the entire reason I bought a Nintendo Switch to begin with. I was deep into my unintentional gaming sabbatical when one day my niece introduced me to her new game, Animal Crossing New Horizons. As an Animal Crossing vet, I was moved. Animal Crossing New Horizons is the whole reason I started streaming gameplay too, now that I think about it. I don't have to tell you about this game, you've already heard the legends of its wonder. Just know that it's special, and my experience playing it is just short of magic. I have uploaded so many Animal Crossing videos, I have streamed so many hunts, I have met a ton of cool people in the community. This game is a gem, and I will always love it. And it's taking everything in me not to put Animal Crossing New Horizons at the bottom of this list. Yeah, number 32, because I'm still so pissed off. Why am I pissed? After years of nothing, we finally get a DLC for Animal Crossing, and it's wonderful. It makes this already perfect game even more wonderful than it already is. But before I can relish in my luck at being born at a time where I'm fortunate enough to experience this, they tell us flat out, this is the last thing we're ever doing for this game, don't ask us about anything else. It was like taking a bullet. I remember recording a reaction and being so shocked by that statement while trying to pretend to be happy at what we got. But why end it so early? Between the potential DLCs and the amiibo cards, you guys could have had so much more of my money. I would have been happy with at least 3 DLCs, but no, they said they're done, and it hurts. What I wanted for Christmas ever since 2020 was for them to spend more time on Animal Crossing New Horizons and give us more things, but it's over. I love this game so much that I hate it for ending. By the way, I consider this game beat when you pay off Tom Nook. And with that out the way, we have now finally arrived at the S tier portion, and the list is about to go from good taste to straight gasoline. The next 10 titles I really hope you've at least heard of. These were my absolute favorite gaming experiences. It wasn't hard choosing them to be in the top 10, but ranking them 10 to 1 was a little tricky. It goes without saying I recommend each of the top 10 games if you're of the appropriate age group, because let me tell you, you're missing out if you haven't played these titles. I hope you're ready for the best games that I've ever beaten on stream. Starting with
Clementine, baby. If you can hear this, call the police. That's 911. We love you. We love you.
The Walking Dead Season 1 is the first game of the Telltale series, and what an incredible and terrifying introduction. My gaming experience left me deeply moved by the amazing storytelling, the critical choices that left me heartbroken, and the well-acted characters with outstanding character development. This game is a masterpiece. The story begins at the very start of the apocalypse. Lee Everett, our protagonist, survives a car accident while being transported to prison as he's a convicted murderer. After the first of what will be many Walker chases, fate brings him to Clementine, a little girl separated from her parents and trying to survive on her own. Lee pretty much adopts Clementine and protects her. They stay together trying to move forward in search of any chance at life. Our judgment calls and combat performance can make or break a situation, as well as how we raise Clementine. We can choose to baby Clem or teach her to protect and defend herself. I like that your choice of how Lee interacts with others can influence Clementine as well. Lee and Clementine's relationship is the meat and potatoes of this game, but the sides are also phenomenal. The supporting cast and everything they bring to the story is fantastic. We encounter a lot of different people on our drive to survive, We experience moments where the living is more ruthless than the dead. The multiple deaths of those we meet along the way are heavily impactful too. This game is remarkable. It came out in 2012, so I'm pretty sure I'm the last person to play it for the first time, but if you're counting, out of the 4 total games, I ranked this game 3rd from the top. Let me know in the comments, which was your favorite Walking Dead game, and what was your favorite moment of each game? This just came out last year, April 2023, so I won't spoil anything, I promise. Just know this was such a fun, intense adventure game that both enchanted and terrified me. In Bramble, the Mountain King, we play as Ale, a little boy on the quest to find his sister, who randomly dips in the middle of the night and gets herself kidnapped. As you can imagine, it turns into a whole adventure. Bramble the Mountain King is inspired from dark Nordic fables, and the gameplay, while obviously an adventure, is narrated like a storybook. The world and its atmosphere is mesmerizing. The creatures and monsters are so disturbing and triggering. The monsters we face in certain environments were beyond freakish and really heightened the game's horror elements. However, there are moments where the setting is in complete contrast. I remember an area resembling a Smurf village full of little gnomes, a lush grassy meadow, a lake full of lily pads. Moments like this where the scenery, especially the details in the background, depict such beauty of nature, while simultaneously giving me the false impression that I was safe in the game. In a game like this, you absolutely want to pay attention to the melody in the background, and the music accompanies this journey so perfectly. The soundtrack is incredible. It's similar to Little Nightmares in gameplay. We sneak around, throw things, and solve puzzles to save ourselves from the giant monsters and other dangers of the world. It's also like Little Nightmares on how brutal the violence in the game can be. It doesn't pull any punches in the horror despite having a child protagonist. I regret not taking my time stretching out the gameplay, looking for collectibles and such. I completed the game so fast, it was just so captivating. Bramble the Mountain King is a clever horror game with puzzles, a little bit of combat, interesting dark stories, an immersive atmosphere, and a good soundtrack. This was my favorite of the new 2023 games, and something I really hope you guys get to experience. Look, I already know what you're about to say. How could any sane person with a shred of dignity and discernment place The Walking Dead 2 over The Walking Dead 1? No, really. Who does that? I do. And spoilers be damned, this came out in 2013. It's because of this.
Oh no!
This.
Just shoot him.
What? No,
Thank you! And this.
Get it!
This.
You gotta get a bath before we...
I love her!
And this.
Heck yeah! Go ahead, Cliff. Yes! Everybody jump him! Jump
this.
him!
Okay, we'll stay.
No!
Stay.
And this. Let's go. Keep it moving. 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 The Walking Dead Season 2, with the strength of All Might, that's anime speak for Superman, yanked on my heartstrings the entire time and would not let up. Season 2 had so many gut-punching moments from the very beginning until the end. I was an emotional wreck after playing this season. Honestly, editing these clips brought me back. There's so much pain in this season. And you know what else there was a lot of? Drama. So much drama. And baby mama drama at that. Like, who is getting pregnant during the zombie apocalypse? I mean, people were pooping out babies during the very real panini, so I shouldn't be surprised. But as a woman, it bewilders me to see that choice being made in a world like this. The Walking Dead 2 is special because it is the start of our adventure playing Clementine. And this is where we first meet AJ after getting to know his parents. We go through so much as Clementine in this season. These adults would not let her be a child. They were involving her in everything and all their drama. It was so crazy. Poor Clementine. We witnessed the beginning of what caused Clementine to become so fearless and ruthless. The ending was heartbreaking. But yeah, perfect game. Out of all 4 games, I ranked The Walking Dead Season 2 second from the top. You guys in chat peer pressured me so intensely to play this game. You would not let me go on living my life until I had the experience of playing Telltale's The Wolf Among Us. And not too long after starting this game did I realize that there are some really great souls out there doing the Lord's work, and I am eternally grateful. The Wolf Among Us is exactly the kind of game I want in my life. Telltale just has this way of making games of my heart. I love The Wolf Among Us. It is everything I love in video games. So think The Boys, but instead of superheroes, it's fairy tale characters. And we play as Bigby, the big bad wolf. He's a sheriff, working alongside Snow White and other familiar names. It's revealed that several fairy tale characters are being murdered throughout our city where both humans and fables live. We go on a dark, violent investigation trying to solve the case. We're also conflicted with this internal struggle Bigby is having. I guess he and Snow don't like that he gives off bad guy, but you can bet I leaned into that during my playthrough. These fables are degenerate. The debauchery we uncover with Bigby is ridiculous. I guess society does discriminate against them pretty harshly, which I totally get. Still, I feel sorry for Bigby. He's too handsome to be going through all this. He's just trying to do his job. Bigby is really handsome. You guys kept calling me out in chat for how much I said that, but I mean, it's distracting. You guys said he had a thing going on with old girl, but I didn't catch that vibe. Or maybe I was cock blocking. I don't know. This is a point and click choice-based game where the story is the focus. The many fights we get into require quick reflexes, and you only have so much time to select your responses during interactions. But the consequences from certain choices can range from irrelevant to deadly. They shape your perception as well. Something it seemed everyone loved to remind Bigby about. The Wolf Among Us is a thrilling drama with a mix of mystery, violence, and dark adult themes, and I enjoyed the references to fairy tales. This is my kind of cozy game. Spoiler alert, even though this game came out in 2013, that is over 10 years ago, my fight against the Bloody Mary and his transformation was so cool. My favorite part. Like, oh my gosh. I didn't get the romance between Snow and Bigby. I often miss the love connections in these games, but like, was this obvious? Honestly, Snow was such a nag. And I loved my ending. Everyone was afraid of the big bad wolf, and that's how it should be.
Remember this moment. Think of me when you try to sleep.
You know, just between us, I was gonna let you live. But now...
You're going to miss me.
No, I won't.
Okay.
Sheriff Joe! Oh my god!
Oh.
Like, I just need y'all all to know not to mess with me, because I'm bad about it.
For Lily.
Fabletown is afraid of the big bad wolf.
Yes. Another one of us to erase from the books.
But yeah, to sum it up, The Wolf Among Us is perfection. I can't wait for the sophomore game. I don't care how long it takes. I'm playing it the moment it comes out. Dang, I do not want to be here. I'm bad at this. I'm bad at band practice. What are you doing here? Okay. Zero self-confidence. Yeah, we kind of do. Because like I said last night, I am a Just Dance girl. I am not a Guitar Hero girl. Oh god, here we go. Weird Autumn. Night in the Woods is a spectacular experience and just an overall good time. My mood immediately lifts when I turn on this game. This is absolutely a cozy game and a pretty long game at that. I have to repeatedly tell my niece that this is very much an adult game despite the cute and cartoon animation. There are dark adult themes and they touch on real life taboo topics as well as mental illness, escapism, depression, grief, and unhappiness. As an adult, this game was comforting to play. I empathized with many characters and found a few of their situations realistic or relatable. I loved hanging in Possum Springs with May. I spent a lot of time playing this game. I made sure to do everything. I was in everyone's business every day. I did not miss a single interaction. There's so much going on in May's hometown, and so much dialogue and side quests, sort of, with her neighbors, family, friends, even strangers off the street. My favorite was finding the rooftop musicians, fostering the baby rats, and stargazing with our old teacher. Night in the Woods is a game that gets a lot deeper than you would assume, and that's thanks to the adorable art style. It comforts you while the characters reveal their trauma. We begin the game learning that May, our adorable protagonist, is returning home after dropping out of college sophomore year. Something happened to May at college, and instead of confronting whatever it is, she retreats home where everything is familiar. However, as we run around town and catch up with our friends, May begins to realize that everything is changing. Even with her friends, May tries to relive her past with them, particularly Bea and Greg. But the more we spend time with everyone, we start to see they're also going through some things. And May's a bad friend. There's something malicious brewing behind the curtain that we slowly begin unraveling too. And the story goes from 0 to 100 in a moment. I loved everything about Night in the Woods. The characters, the visuals, the music, the long gameplay, and especially the story. I really appreciate an adult-focused storyline with heavy themes. I had a wonderful experience playing this, which is why this game is so deserving of being ranked this high on my list. You can definitely expect a late-night replay of this game in the future. And by the way, if you played Night in the Woods, tell me in the comments below which is your favorite band song. Mine is Weird Autumn. This game is so criminally underrated. Lost in Random is a brilliant, one-of-a-kind action-adventure fantasy game that not enough of you guys are talking about, and this really upsets me. If you've never heard of this game, I implore you to seriously consider it. You won't be sorry. I had such a great time streaming this game, and I revisit it often. Lost in Random was recommended to me by chat too. You guys requested a reaction video to the trailer, and the moment I saw the trailer, I knew right away this was the game for me. You guys really hit the mark. Thank you. I love this game. Immediately, the visuals, each world, the details, the use of particular colors, the NPCs, the citizens of Random, especially the bosses, were striking. They were all so weird and creepy in a way that I'm obsessed with. I thought the style of Even, our protagonist, and her sister Odd were pretty cute. The evil queen of Random, our antagonist and dictator, the shady Bag brothers, the mayor of Two Town, and Royam were some of my favorite designs. Nanny Fortuna reminded me of Yubaba from Spirited Away though. Anyone else see that? The ambience radiates a gothic fairy tale, which I adore. Like a mix of Coraline, Window and Wild, and everything Tim Burton touches. Lost in Random takes you on a journey to 5 unique and extremely thorough worlds, each named for numbers on the dice, and each suffering in their own way, perpetuated mostly by the Queen of Random and her random rules. We play as Even, a young girl living with her family in Onecroft. Real quick, side note, Have you ever been to a Boomer garage sale? You know how they have like mountains of random stuff like whoozy whatsits and dingamabobbers, and it's always like stuff that looks haunted? Onecroft is basically that taking shape as a town. It's like a big old junkyard. Anyway, on her sister Oz's 12th birthday, the evil queen drops in and randomly forces a child to be uprooted from their home and family to live in another realm. Where the kid lives depends on the number rolled on the queen's dice, because random rules. Odd is selected to roll the dice and she rolls a 6. And just like that, she's gone. A year later, Even, still traumatized by her grief, decides she will set out and find her sister. Odd must be at the queen's palace in her kingdom at Sixtopia, and Even will cross each of the 5 realms to get her. Soon as her journey begins, we are paired with Dicey, our sentient living dice. Through Dicey is where the game turns into a combat card game. Think Here to Slay or Dungeons and Dragons, but with a dash of Wizard's Chess and Doctor Strange, because we can manipulate time. I thought the gameplay was a lot of fun. I appreciate how it increased in difficulty as I progressed. While the search for our sister is the main focus, there is another story, a parallel in the background that escalates as we advance with a huge payoff at the end. The ending was great. It left me wanting a sequel. If anyone knows if this game is having an upcoming sequel, please let me know in the comments. And per usual, this game wins points for having a narrator. By the way, I gave this game to my niece, and she loves it too. Truly a masterpiece. This game was actually my introduction to the Telltale games and the Walking Dead game series as a whole. This was one of the very first games I streamed on this channel. You guys in chat have been recommending the Walking Dead games for a minute, and despite seeing the game titled The Final Season, I didn't realize there were 4 parts. I saw the game on sale and bought it and just started playing it. Of course, I sabotaged myself by playing the last game of the series first, but I promise it really didn't ruin my experience, which is a testament to how incredible the Walking Dead game series is. After this game, I went back and played the rest in correct order, and that's when I really realized how much I missed. There were so many callbacks, especially from the first game, including huge reveals. In this game, Clementine is 17. 10 years have gone by and we're still dealing with an apocalypse. Like, can you imagine? You guys couldn't even wear masks for a year without having a conniption. Imagine being 10 years deep into a zombie apocalypse. You'd explode. Crazy. Anyways, Clem is a big girl and AJ is a big boy, and our babies are still surviving. They come upon a new group, a boarding school run by teenagers and kids. The students were abandoned by the adult faculty at the start of the apocalypse and are trying to survive the best they can. The new characters really brought a lot to the story. I recognized different aspects of humanity in crisis represented through the kids. Naivety, optimism, pessimism, and per usual, there was a depth depiction of depravity of humanity when faced with desperation and death. The students also served as a reference for Clementine to measure her progress raising AJ in a world where his social skills are centered around knowing when to shoot, when to run, and when to fight. The effects of a child born into chaos and violence are magnified when AJ is around other children. As one would assume, AJ doesn't function like a normal child, especially for his young age. He is distrusting, aggressive, and unfriendly. Clem struggles, which means we struggle, with deciding what kind of role model to be for AJ. Our actions have lasting impressions on AJ and his future decisions. As we fight for survival, do we focus more on protecting him or teaching him to fight for himself? Like all children, he pays very close attention to our words and actions and is quick to point out our contradictions. We as Clementine have come full circle. We are now the guardian that Lee was to us. This game left lasting impressions on me. My gameplay was insane. Some decisions were impossible, and the consequences brutal. With that said, my ending was bittersweet and left me in complete disbelief. This was such an amazing, well-written game. A great ending, even though I secretly want the series to continue. The Walking Dead, the final season, is my favorite and highest ranked game of the series. Legends Arceus is the best game to come from the franchise in a long time. Argue with your mom. It is crazy that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet followed this game, and it's like no wonder my expectations were like so high. Pokemon Legends Arceus is a gem. This is the step in the right direction for upcoming Pokemon games in my opinion. I love this game. Playing it was a breath of fresh air because it's unlike any other Pokemon game. This was a taste of what open world Pokemon could be like. They took a completely new take on it entirely. This was not the average Pokemon journey. The story and setting were totally unique. We go back in history to a time where Pokemon and humans really don't coexist. Actually, and more realistically, the people are very fearful and untrusting of Pokemon. After being discovered and recruited, we slowly work with the villagers to capture Pokemon, furthering research. We even meet ancestors of characters from previous games that take place in our current timeline. I have never been a 100%er in Pokemon. I've never felt inspired to collect every single Pokemon. You guys see me play. I collect the ones I like or think are cute or badass and go about my day with like 30 entries in my Pokedex. Pokemon Legends Arceus is the first game where I've caught all the Pokemon and completed all the requests. I've had so much fun with this gameplay. I wanted to play it as long as I could. The music was great. Jubilife Village especially had a nice tune that complemented the gameplay. Trip was cute. My video on how to get all the outfits in the game is actually one of my most popular videos. The black hairstyles were ashy per usual, but I actually really liked the braids and thought my character was super cute. The visuals could be really impressive at times. The different locations made the world feel vast, and I was excited to explore. My favorite feature is seeing the Pokemon in the wild. They somewhat exhibited behavior more natural to animals in the wild, which is something I wish the franchise would adapt with their so-called open world games. I mean, you can catch them sleeping, and I thought that was pretty cute. Although it would be cooler if we saw them interacting with other Pokemon, like fighting or playing, you know. I like being able to see the size difference in the Pokemon, especially amongst Pokemon of the same species. They're not all the exact same. The big boys, the alphas, especially stood out. Pretty sure this is my favorite Pokemon game out of all of the Nintendo Switch Pokemon games, and I am on my knees begging for a DLC or Kanto version of this game, even Johto. This right here, this is what I like. One of the greatest games I've ever played, Little Nightmares 2, sequel to Little Nightmares, is magnificent. Although it was dark, twisted, and disturbing, the dedication to the atmosphere with such great detail, once again, they truly nail the fear of a child's nightmare. I played Little Nightmares 2 before the first one because it was on sale on eShop. I had no idea what this game was. You guys in chat again put me onto a banger. This is one of the first games I streamed, and it was so much fun. I really started to love streaming while playing this game with you guys. The gameplay was great from start to finish, simply miraculous. I don't want to repeat myself because the game and the way I feel is very similar to Little Nightmares, the first game. I just think the second one is better, mostly because I like our main character, Mono. Little guy with the brown paper bag on his head. There's something I love about a silent protagonist. I mean, he does go, hey, from time to time, but he's mostly silent, he ain't talking to us. I thought the villains were also a lot better too in this game, and the atmosphere was just marvelous. We also get a bigger view of wherever the hell we are. We team up with Six, the little girl in the yellow raincoat, and I really like the solving puzzles with a partner. That felt very unique to me at the time. I'm so excited for the third game. Can you tell? Out of every game I've beaten on stream, the game that impressed me the most, that gave me the best experience, was number 1. of this exact moment in time, Stray is absolutely my favorite game out of all the games I played and beaten on stream. This game made me excited to be a gamer. You know that sensation you get when you find a game that is just so stimulating to you, and when you beat it, you just are left feeling so moved, like wow. Stray was all of that and more for me. Stray is clever, imaginative, and compelling. Judging by this list, Stray has the perfect formula for what I like. I'm totally into silent protagonists and slightly apocalyptic grungy settings with great detailed atmosphere. I like an adventure in a world that entices me. I love solving puzzles, and most of all, a well-written story that tugs at my heartstrings. Stray's perfect. So you press start, and you're a regular stray cat, an orange cat at that. And it looks like my niece's cat Evie, doesn't it? Cat movements and everything. They even have a meow button. Then suddenly, we're separated from our pack, falling into an abyss. We awaken deep underground in like a whole new world. A sunless, cyberpunk, kind of grunge, post-apocalyptic city run by the AI robots humans left behind. We discover B12, our companion, who acts as our guide, translator, and voice. B12 is a great character. Through B12, we begin to uncover what happened to mankind. B12 has a very specific interest in humankind. B12 also aids in our quest to go above, after forming an unlikely friendship with us, the cat, and realizing that we're a creature of Earth. I like stories about friendship and carrying on someone's will. There are actually a few robot characters that I enjoy as well. The robots have so much personality, and you can pretty much interact with them all over the map. It's kind of cute. The visuals, the world, the gameplay, all the cute cat mannerisms, beyond amazing. This game was so intriguing. I played this game on PC, but I bet it would be so much fun on Switch. And you know, they're making a movie based off this video game. It's going to be animated and directed by the same guy who directed Ice Age. I vaguely remember Ice Age, but I think it was super popular with you guys. So yeah, pretty exciting and totally well deserved. I know I have great game taste, but out of all 32 games, Stray is absolutely number one, no contest whatsoever. Thank you so much to anyone who watched the video in its entirety. I know this was a super long video, but we played a lot of games. I want to apologize for my annoying, loud computer fan. My sister says my computer has asthma. I just pretend I'm in Moroku's wind tunnel. I am so sorry if that bothered you because it literally eats away at my soul. I seriously want to hear from you guys in the comments. What did you think about this list? What order do you rank the Life is Strange and Walking Dead games? Have you heard of the indies that I played? I'm starting to really favor indie games. They dominate the list. What is your number one game? Which of my games deserve to be 32? And which deserve to be number one in your opinion? And most importantly, please recommend me some games. If you have any video ideas or requests for the future, I'm all ears. Especially because this video was requested by chat. Thank you again so much for stopping by and watching my video. Please like, comment, and share. I really appreciate your support. I know my channel is teeny tiny, but more than gain a ton of subscribers, I want my channel to reach my tribe, you know? I collected a few of you guys already, and I know there's more out there. You guys are always welcome to join my live streams. I game all the time, so if you see a stream pop up, just come and say hi. Just don't spoil the game. And thanks again for watching. Bye.